Hey guys, SpinoDude here and welcome back to another video. Today guys, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Jurassic World Mattel Battle Damage Albertosaurus. I managed to snag the last one of these at my local Walmart just the other day. And normally I'd say let's get this one out of the packaging, but this thing was so easy to take out. I already did it on my own, as you can see here. You just had to cut a couple of the wire ties that were, one was around each ankle and then one was around the waist. That was it. Wasn't very secure packaging, but I guess the size of the toy prevents people from stealing it in the store or whatever. But yeah, why don't we take a quick look at the packaging here, and also, I hope my computer isn't too loud behind me. I'm currently rendering another video, and it's gonna take a while, and I wanted to record another video, so yeah. Anyway, let's jump in and take a quick look at the packaging for this guy. So, you can see very large packaging. This is about the same size, I believe, as like the Action Attack figures from the first wave of Fallen Kingdom toys, such as the, like, you know, the Carnotaurus, the Suchomimus, the Stegosaurus, etc. So this is a $20 toy. I got it on rollback, interestingly enough, for $16.99, which, you know, I'll take it. But you can see it says Albertosaurus down here. We have a really nice cutout of Rexy on this side, Battle Damage. I really like the red Jurassic World logo. We have a demonstration of the Battle Damage feature on the top. It says Jurassic World, the logo there. Jurassic World logo and Battle Damage logo on the sides. And then on the back of the packaging, we have a diagram. Let me turn the camera up just a little bit. There we go. We have a diagram showing the Albertosaurus and showing the action features. It says activate double damage, and yeah, it has an advertisement for 3 other Battle Damage figures, that being the Pteranodon, Blue, and Stygimoloch. Also an advertisement on top for the Jurassic Facts app if you are interested in getting that. So, that's it for the packaging. Let's throw that off to the side, and let's bring in the Albertosaurus from the new Jurassic World Mattel 2019 range. I actually thought this guy was going to be part, or this gal I should say, since all the dinos are female in Jurassic Park in Jurassic World. I actually thought this figure is going to be part of the Dino Rivals range, but it's part of the Battle Damage line, interestingly enough. But, first of all, let's address the obvious. This is not an Albertosaurus. This is more of a mutant Allosaurus with 2 fingers, I guess you could say. But that doesn't bother me because, you know, Jurassic Park has its own lore. These creatures are genetically modified theme park monsters that do not have a 100% organic genome. So, for being a Jurassic Park dinosaur, I think this thing looks awesome. The head sculpt looks fantastic. We're going to take a closer look at that in just a bit. But why don't we go over the actual playability features with this, the articulation and everything. So first of all, with the gimmick, and we're going to zoom in on the Battle Damage feature on the side here, you press the door and it's spring-loaded and it opens up. Now this is double layer Battle Damage. You can see that it has a rib cage as well that comes down, but unfortunately mine doesn't stay, and this is a problem that a lot of people have with this toy. So you can see how it would have looked with the rib cage down, but mine always springs up. And then we have a rubber piece in here that makes up part of the guts. It's just a pink piece of rubber with some like veins on it. It looks like the stomach and maybe like the intestines or something behind that or whatever, but it's pretty cool, and it's all squishy in there. And then when you're done with the Battle Damage feature, you can just close the door. Once again, I think the Battle Damage feature is really cool for playability, but for the overall look of this side of the toy, it just kind of really detracts from, you know, the overall look of the Albertosaurus with this big gap around the section. But I will say that the handle works out. Oh no, there's a truck driving by my house. Please, no, I'm recording right now. Anyway, sorry about that guys, we're back. But I will say that the little handle for the Battle Damage feature works out much better because of all of the scoots that are on the back of the Albertosaurus. Unless you're looking at it from the top, then this one sticks out. But it blends into all of the scoots and spikes on the back of this figure. So I think that works out fine, much better than, for example, on Battle Damage Blue and the Stygimoloch and everything. The little handle part just sticks out and looks really awkward. But anyway, that's the main gimmick with this toy. I think it's really cool. It's the only one out on the market right now that has a double battle damage feature, but there is also awesome articulation with this guy that you can get. Now let's go over my two favorite parts of articulation on this figure. My favorite is the head. Now this has just fantastic range of motion. You can twist it, you can move it up and down. It's just on a full-on ball joint and it works fantastic. And it feels quite sturdy as well. Mine is a little bit loose when you put it in some poses, but overall it holds its pose and it looks great. I love the articulation for the head. And then of course the jaw is articulated. My jaw is incredibly stiff. I need to work it out more, but you can see that it opens up nice and wide there. And yeah, it also holds its pose like in between if you want it, you know, to be partially open or whatever. It does have a slightly odd curve to it when the mouth is open, as you can see. It's not horrible when it's open all the way, but when you have it like open midway, you can see like a odd little curve or whatever. But it does interlock with the upper jaw very nicely, and I prefer to have mine displayed with the jaw completely closed anyway. But that's it for the head. For the arms each move forward and back. There is no outward articulation, which I think is fine, seeing how this is a Tyrannosaurid and the arms, you know, are so small. For the legs, we have the pivot joints at the hips, so the legs can pivot outwards for extra balancing if you need them to do that. Also at the ankles, they only slightly turn. I don't know if I put more pressure on it for twisting these, if it will twist all the way around, or if it will just break the ankles. I'm not even going to try, but you can see that the feet turn in and out ever so slightly for balancing. And then the tail, which is ridiculously short, but from some angles it looks okay, I'm finding. It's on a full-on ball joint like the head, but it doesn't have as good of a range of motion as the head, but you can move it like up and down and stuff and move it over to the side. But that's all of the playability that this figure really has to offer. I think it's great, and my favorite part, of course, is the head on this big old ball joint. It works out so well, and there's so much expressiveness you can get with this Albertosaurus. And actually, my favorite pose I've found so far is leaning the figure back. Let's scoot the camera back a little bit here. I'm not going to be able to get the full thing in frame. But leaning the figure back like this, and then just turning the head off to the side, that's my favorite posture for this figure, right there. Yeah, look at that. That just looks so intimidating and so cool. I love the way that pose looks with the Albertosaurus. But anyway, why don't we zoom in quick and take a look at the details and everything that this figure has to offer. So you can see there are some nice scales carved out in the sculpt. Nothing incredibly special. I do like the folds and the wrinkles in the skin throughout the body. The toned musculature in the legs looks great. Also along the rib cage and everything, that looks good. Very muscular forearms there, as you can see. The patterning on the back is really cool though. You have some really nice scales, scoots, and spikes going down. There is a seam line, but down the neck, well, down the head, the neck, and the body, but it's covered fairly well, I have to say. The tail has a really interesting pattern, and I actually just had to cut there because I realized my tail was like this all along, and it was really tough to move it back up, but there we go. Now you can see the pattern actually matches up with the body there. But I do like the armor plating going down the top. I think it gives the Albertosaurus a unique look for the franchise. Tail is ridiculously short though, like I was saying earlier. But then moving on to my absolute favorite part. Let's zoom out just a little bit here, which is the head. I mean, look at the detailing in the neck, the way the red color blends in and everything, and just the scales on the sculpt just looks absolutely beautiful. It's so menacing. I love the scar on the cheek there. The eye in the orange color really makes it stand out. I love the, again, scales running down the top of the snout there. Look fantastic. There's another scar on the cheek on this side of the animal as well. Also on the back leg right here, you can see two gashes that are painted in red. That's another reason I like this side of the animal better, because it's not battle damaged. I don't mind the battle damage feature because you can conceal it, but I don't really like how there's just these two bright red scars all the time on the leg. I like the more inconspicuous healed scars on the face, for example. I think those look much better. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that this figure has to offer. Overall, for the head sculpt alone, I have to say, this figure is worth it. It's great. This has one of the best looking head sculpts of any of the Mattel toys. It's such a high quality looking design, and just all of the detailing going on in the face here, and all the articulation with this toy as well, and the size of it. It's just awesome, and I think it's worth every penny, if I'm being honest. My actual problems with this, I have to say, I love what they were going with the colors here, but the colors get really boring going down the rest of the body. All the articulation points are great, but I have to say the downside to my particular one, and I know this is going to differ toy to toy, because I've seen lots of reports of different problems with different parts of articulation on these, but my tail is really stiff. The bottom jaw is really stiff on mine, and then of course my battle damage feature is kind of broken where the rib cage doesn't want to stay down. But other than that, still really good. I still highly recommend it. For the price, I think you're getting an extremely good toy, and I might want to pick up another one of these and do like a repaint custom just because of how cool the head looks there. But why don't we do a quick comparison? Here is the Albertosaurus, and next to my favorite Roarivore, which is the Baryonyx from the Fallen Kingdom range of Roarivores. You can see the Albertosaurus is it's bigger. It's ever so slightly taller than the Baryonyx overall, but I think these two look really cool next to each other. I think the Baryonyx has an overall better paint job with the different markings and everything going, and then the metallic paint on the face just really makes that figure stand out. But the Albertosaurus, I still think is a really, really good toy. Also, I forgot to mention the unfortunate white paint scrape on his toe there. Also, if anybody wants to use the scanner app, there's the bottom of the foot. Actually, let me get a good zoom in there. So if you want to get the Dino Facts app, then you can scan the foot of the Albertosaurus there and unlock it in your game. And just to do a quick measurement here, this guy is longer than our trusty flexi ruler, so I have our little tape measure here. This Mattel Albertosaurus is about 14 inches long, which is about 36 centimeters. And in terms of the height, at the highest point at its horizontal stance, we are looking at about 5.5 inches, which is about 14 centimeters. Well, there we go, guys. I think that's going to do it for today's review on the brand new Jurassic World Mattel Battle Damage Albertosaurus, the largest battle damage figure that we have out there right now. I think this toy is fantastic, instantly one of my favorites from the new 2019 Jurassic World Mattel toy range. If you want to get this one for yourself, this one is a Walmart exclusive in the United States. The Battle Damage line of figures is a Walmart exclusive, so make sure you go check your local Walmarts. I believe they only have one case of 2 of these figures come in at a time, so I was lucky to get the last one that was available on the shelves. I'm pretty sure you can also get them at Walmart's website. But anyway, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. Also leave a comment telling me what you think of this brand new Jurassic World Albertosaurus. So thank you so much, guys, for watching, and as always, I will see you in my next video. So take care, and bye-bye.